Atlantenbrücken! Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Hey, this is Papa from StreetFighterTradingSystem.com. Alright, so today we are back for the 1 month, one move bootcamp. And I want to talk about three topics on this day three, right? So the number one topic will be on how you have to clean your workspace to be able to start trading. Second will be around how you need to basically try to understand market structure and try to apply it if you are looking at the market live and even not live to help you out understand what is a good trade and what is not a good trade. And third, we will talk about basically how we can use the dashboard and see a little bit what are the results so far, on which direction we should take to basically have higher probability win rate. Okay, so first topic first. So I wanted to talk about the fact of cleaning up your chart. Okay, because I'm also guilty of this. Is if you want to do the bootcamp, you need to empty your glass. Empty your glass meaning that you need to have only the 2000 tick chart, 50 SMA and EMA. All the rest you should remove it. Okay. So one thing that you will see is, as you guys know, if you followed me, for those who doesn't follow me, I am a trader that plays with the depth of market, right? But what I want to do is to prove to you guys that it's possible, to prove to you guys, but also to prove to myself, because I don't even know if it's possible. But I want to see if it's possible to trade only looking at the chart, right? So the idea is that if you are trading, try to clean up your chart. So remove your, let's say, depth of market. So me, I'm using Jigsaw. When I'm trading now, I'm trying to look at only the chart. So I remove the tape. I remove the order flow, right? And I remove the 1000 tick chart because at the end, we are playing the 2000 tick, right? I already know how to play the 1000 tick. It's not the matter of this bootcamp. As we said at the start, the goal of this bootcamp is to take one move, okay? To do it 1000 times, to know it in and out and understand what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so please only have on your screen the 2000 tick chart. I'm also guilty of having like the stochastic fast 9-3. So if you have it, also I will advise you to put it down if you are trading, right? Because the problem is that if you have it on your chart, you will always look at it. That's the problem. So keep only what is necessary. Okay, so what is necessary is the 50 SMA and the 21 EMA. So why? Because this will give you direction of the trend, right? As you know, I don't draw macro channels. I feel they are highly unreliable unless you have clear like touch points, right? And when you have them, it's already too late. Okay. Second is I also want you to have you like a drawing tool because you need to train yourself to just draw like two-legged pullback, failed two-legged pullback over and over again. Okay, so this is all we need. The 2000 tick ES, like a NinjaTrader or whatever charting platform that you're using. If you're using Thinkorswim or Sierra Chart or whatever, it's fine. Okay, so you only have this on your chart. And that's all you need. So empty your glass. If you really want to succeed, that's the only way. Because I know that you guys come from different background. You probably know how to play like many type of strategies. But the idea is to see how we can apply it from end to end, one move for 1 month. Okay. So with that said, let's continue. So second, I want to talk about. So as you know. I want us to focus and count the failed two-legged pullback and so on, but I want to remove one failed two-legged pullback on the move that we are counting, right? So as a reminder, there is three types of, I would say, failed two-legged pullback. There is many shape, but there is three types of form, right? So the first one is the normal one that is doing like a M, okay, right? Then the one that I want you to remove is the external, right? So it's something that will do up, and then down like this, right? So that means that you start counting here, and then your end of the count is ending here, right? So I don't think that you need to count this, to be honest, because at the end, I don't think that when you're live, you will be counting external, and it cannot really be considered as a trap. It's not a trap anymore if the price is already further, the move is happening further away. Okay, so example, this is if you are going long. Of course, if you are going short, is this, right? So I have an example over here. So you have a down, up, right? So well, this is a double top, so maybe it's not a good example. Okay, this is a good one. So let's say you're over here, you do a down, up, right? So you started your count over here, but you end your count over here. So this is higher than this one. So on the short, we should not consider them. Okay, don't consider those stuff. So external retrace, it's on the dashboard, but honestly, I think we should not focus on those ones. Okay, you should still count though. So those are the normal ones that I will always see, and we will also talk about those ones. So the one where basically we have how to say a move that happens during the same time. That means you need to anticipate the break. Okay, so I'm not sure I have an example over here. If I don't, maybe I can open up my the tab. So here you see this example. So you have a down, up, and then this candle break first higher. So you need to anticipate your move over here, right? So this is something that I called outside bar, right? And you will see it also on the dashboard. You have some filters over here, right? So the only move we'll focus on for our purpose now, right, is the normal ones. But here you see you have a filter which is outside bar, which is set to zeros. That means I only want normal moves. And then I don't want to have external retrace, right? And for external, I think you don't need to count it. For the outside bar, you can, okay? So with that said, let's, I wanted to review quickly what happened yesterday, right? So normally you should all be counting your waves, and then depending on where you are, if you're on Discord, I propose you to post it on Discord. That will be a good training. If you are on Facebook, you should see that some people, so Dean, myself, and so on, we are posting our count on the streetfightertrainingsystem.com and putting some comments on it. Okay. Now, with that said, comes the second topic that I wanted to talk about, which is you need, when you count, okay, so you count them and then you try to see a little bit of market structure. Okay, so by market structure, what I mean two things. Number one, you need to be able to try to count impulsive move. And then second, you need to be able to draw like channels like this, right? So when you see that there is a lot of overlapping bars, okay, you need to try to put them in, right? Because trading in a range and trading when the market is like going down, like not in congestion, is two different things, like totally different, right? So you need to be able to just have those in mind and train yourself to try to see them, only see them, right? To spot them when you have like matching highs and matching lows, and see what happened on those different type of situation. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first move that I wanted to talk about, okay, is this one. So I'm gonna take the screenshot of this, and I'm gonna explain the situation. Okay, so here you have your basically market that start at this point. And then what you want to do, as I said, is you want to start counting like impulsive moves. So here you have first impulse, second impulse, third impulse, fourth impulse. So an impulse, by the way, how do we consider an impulse? Is if you have a decent move, and this one, it needs to be lower than the previous one, and this candle body needs to close below the body of the latest candle, right? So the latest candle that does the lowest point is this one, right? So this body, and you see this body over here, this body close below this one. Then on this one, the body of this one close, the body of this close below this one. The body of this close below this one. The body of this, right, close below this one. So it's an impulsive move. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So usually a normal trend, you will see if you start counting, you will have usually 3 impulse, right? So 3 is an average. What we want is not to trade the average, right? We want to trade like the I will say the points that are on the extremes. Okay, so it starts to get extreme when you have 4 or more, and when you have 4 or more, it's time to look at reversals. Okay, so you can only take reversals. So reversals meaning that you are playing counter trend only if you are able to count like a decent impulsive move and at least 4. Okay, because 3 is the average, 4 is okay. Okay, so this is one parameter. The second parameter is if the price is below the EMA, below the EMA with space, right? Then it's also a good place to look for reversal. So here, after those 4 moves to the downside, we had a failed two-legged pullback. Okay, well, this failed two-legged pullback failed, and to be honest with you, if I was looking only at the chart, I would probably have lost too. I would have tried to go long over here and would have lost. Okay, so what I want to do is on this type of situation, I want to log it on the file, because it's okay to count, but you also need to have a file where you log your own mistakes, right? Why? Because the more you will have patterns, the more it will go into your head on what works and what doesn't work, right? So I often tend to play when I see like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 move on a direction to try to take a reversal. And yeah, I will look at the first step two-legged pullback that will happen, okay? So we have it here, a two-legged pullback, it failed. So what I will do is that I will take this, right? And then I will log it in a file. So I will log it in a file called my mistake. I'll put a date, I'll put the screenshot, and then here I will put a comment, right? So the comment on this should be fairly easy. Why do you think that this move failed, right? So we have to look closely at it, and when I see this, one of the reasons why it failed is because of this candle. You see, this candle is really, really fucked up, right? And one of the main parameters that you saw on the statistic side, okay, if you look at the statistic, what is the statistic that has the highest statistical difference between playing and winning and playing and losing? But it's having a good candlestick. So good candlestick meaning that the price, so if you are going long, the candle needs to close on its top 25%. Okay, if it closes on its top 25%, you have 85% chance to win. If it doesn't, you have only 62% chance to win. Okay, so here I think that even though you have reversal, having a good candle is necessary. Here it closed on its middle, and yeah, it's kind of like a doji, so I call this stuff a fucked up hammer. So yeah, basically the fact that this candle was shit, right? So I would say that the market situation was really good, right? Was really good to take a reversal. But the problem is that one element is not enough, right? Not enough to take a trade. We need, like on this case, the candlestick was really not good. Okay, so this is what I will put on my stuff, and then next time I see those type of situation, I will be more careful, right? Of course, if I see this situation, I will log it again and see if it works or not, because one trade doesn't matter. You need at least 100, like 200, 300 trades to understand, does this setup work in the long run or not? But I'm fairly sure that by looking at the result over here, showing that if your candle is not good, you have 62% chance, it might give me already an indication that taking those type of trade is not the best thing to do. Okay, so this is the first situation that I wanted to talk about. Of course, you see that after there was another failed two-legged pullback, which is pre-party, so before the SMA angles up, but the trend is still on the right direction because SMA is above EMA. Sorry, SMA is below EMA. and you have a candlestick pattern called bearish bullish. So for example, here, if you look at what Dean, and that's why also you need a community, right? Because if you don't have people to tell you what is good, what is not good, but maybe you will not figure out yourself. So if I look at what Dean has posted, he has posted how many trades he find, and he pointed out this particular situation, right? Saying that it's a failed two-legged pullback and we have like a bebu, right? So a bearish bullish setup. And often when we have this setup, right, but it has a high probability that you will have a winner. Okay, so of course, should you believe Dean? Maybe not, but you will probably believe him when we have enough data, right, to prove it, right? So because we are also looking into setups, right? So you see here a Bebu setup. For the moment, they had 4 of them and they were 100% winner. Anyway, we'll see. We need more than 4, right? We cannot do a conclusion with only 4 trades, but this is what I think we need to take a look at, more and more trades like this, right? The idea is just for you to recognize the situation, okay? What else? So I go back to the chart. Other situation that I wanted to talk about is playing in a range. No, so before talking to this, I wanted also to talk about a reload situation that happened over here, right? So for those who followed kind of my course, right? So maybe before we jump, I'll just do it. I will just draw the impulsive move over here. So here you can also try to draw it out, right? So you have 1 impulse, 2 impulse, 3, 4, like 5, 6, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Can you draw this one? You can also draw this one, but it cannot be considered as an impulse, right? It's like a really small move to the upside. So 3, 4, 5, right? So starting from here, you could have tried to look at reversals, right? So here, there was, by the way, a failed two-legged pullback that happened, but look at this candle, right? Again, this candle is really shit, right? So yeah. So yeah, try it out. When you review your chart, try to count impulsive move and try to see what is happening, right? You need to train yourself. We are only at day 3. At day 30, you'll probably be efficient on counting this and recognizing when it's time to take a reversal and when it's not time to take a reversal, okay? So now I want to talk about, by the way, here you see there is 5 waves. This was the 5th wave, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have this failed two-legged pullback setup. I will talk about this specific candlestick a little bit later as a situation. Okay, so before that, I want to talk about this thing. Right, so what happened over here, and why I think it's a very good setup to maybe take not a failed two-legged pullback, but what we call a higher low. Okay, so what we have here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if you remember this, and if you don't, look into what I call a reload to the party, or when a party restarts, right? So we had already 5 moves on the upside, so normally we cannot take long anymore, right? But the fact that we have a reload to the party, we can again look at the situation. And what I will usually look at is the first failed two-legged pullback that happened after this. Okay, so you can see that it happened here. We had a winning trade, but I want to talk about this thing, right? This higher low. So you see, you have 5 wave, and then it's up down. You have this spinning top again, and then from the spinning top candlestick pattern, the candle break lower and then shoot up, right? And then what happened here is you can see that people got trapped, right? They try to short over here because here you are in a range, and people, they are trying to short over here, and they thought that the price will go lower because they are trying to sell the top, right? So this is a perfect situation where, as I said, you also need to be able to draw your up and your down on the channel, recognize them, And on those situations, I will take higher low, okay? Even though we are taking only failed two-legged pullback, this shows us that we have a reload. We know that people are getting trapped here, and because they are trying to short the top of the channel, they short and boom, they got stopped out. And we see that's why the price is shooting like crazy. Because people, you know, what they do when they are in the range is they will sell the top and buy the bottom, right? So when you recognize a situation like this also, be ready to put your buy stop above this candle and just wait for it. You will probably have the price that will shoot up, okay? So this is a situation that I wanted to talk to you about. A third situation is I want to talk about this type of candle, right? So a candle that is what is called a spinning top, right? So you have a small body in the middle and some long wicks. So for example, this one is one, this one is also one, right? So let's talk about those candles. So this candle first. So here you have a range, okay? So in a range, normally what you want to do is, as many people do, you want to buy at the bottom of the range or sell at the high of the range, okay? So you need to be able to recognize those channels, right? So it's very, very important if you want to succeed. You also, so the impulsive move is one of them. And second, the range is also something that you need to be able to recognize when you trade, okay? So this is a range, up, this is a range. So how do I know that? So basically what I try to do is if I see two candles that are closing at the same level, I will start drawing the range, okay? So here we see two candles that are closing at the same level, so I will draw it. Here we see several candles that are closing at the same level, I will draw it. Here same, here same. Here you have multiple candles closing at the same level, so I will draw the channel, right? So this is how I see that we are in a channel or not, and I will always draw them. This is the only type of channel that I will draw. I will not draw the macro channels for the trend, but I will draw the congestion channel. I don't know how to call this, but the horizontal channel, okay? So once I have this, what I want to do is, as I say, I want to either sell the top or buy the bottom, okay? And on those type of situation, what I see, and an hypothesis that I'm giving you, I haven't verified it, but is that this type of candle, right? So as I say, this spinning top, right? When you see them, they have like a high percentage winning rate when there is a failed to get pullback that happen with this, okay? So what I will do is that I will not put a buy stop over here. So when I see up, down, okay, this candle close, I will not put a buy stop over here. I will try to put a buy stop on the middle, so on the close of the candle, and I will wait for it, okay? You will often see that, I don't know why, but this candle seems to be considered as a good candle. So again, I don't have data to back it up. I will have it with the dashboard very, very soon, okay? But pay attention to those spinning tops, okay? And try to check when it's happening on a failed two-legged pullback move. You will often see some stuff happening on it. So same over here. You see you had a failed two-legged pullback, so down, up, down after fifth wave, okay? Here, you place a buy stop below over here and you wait for it, okay? So those are situations where I showed you three situations. Number one is counting wave and trying to get into a reversal only after you are able to count four or more, okay? So I repeat, let's say you had this, right? And you of course needs to have a good candle, right? I take it here, so I had 1, 2, well, I can consider this also as an up move, 1, 2, 3. So this is a wick up move, 4, 5. Okay, so could I have considered this one? So this is blocking. So this one, for example, you should not take it because this candle is fucked up, right? This candle is fucked up. It's not a good candle to go short. But this one, right, after the fifth wave, right? So I'm telling you, normally, in normal circumstances, I will say that this is a bad candle also. Because to be a good candle, it needs to close on its top 25% if you are going long, or bottom 25% if you're going short. Okay, but what you can see over here on this candle is that it is the spinning top. So meaning you have something on the middle like this, right? And it does a failed two-legged pullback after a fifth wave. Fifth impulse, not a wave, but fifth impulse. Okay, because we're not counting Elliott wave, but we're counting just impulse. So what I will try to do is I will try to put a sell stop below this and see what's happening. Okay. You can also put it on the low of the candle, but this is up to you, right? I'm telling you is to try it, right, and see what happened. It happened over here also, where basically you had like a range, you had the spinning top, right? What you want to do is to buy on the bottom of the channel, is on the bottom, yeah, and you're trying to have a scalp that touch the upper stuff. So that's why I don't like to put a buy stop over here. It's either I put the buy stop over here or I will not put it. The reason why is that if you put it here, the room between the high and this part is too low, right? You don't have 1 point scalp. So that's why you need to kind of anticipate the move and put a buy stop over here. Okay. So this is, I think, pretty much what I wanted to share. So yeah, train yourself, go on a review your chart, look at what's happening. On the meantime, as I said, if you also want to help on putting more data, so the idea is not to put like the data of today, yesterday, and so on, is to put data from historical. Because as you see here, one of the problems is that we have only the data of June, but maybe June is a data set that is not representative of what is happening, right? So for this, we need to have data from prior to June, right? Maybe May, maybe April. So if you're willing to fill it up, just let me know. On the meantime, of course, you need to train yourself. I will do a last, maybe a couple of words on what's happening on the statistics. So as I repeat, what we see is that if you play them all, you have a 72%, 73% winning rate over 100 trades. We have reviewed 9 days so far. In average, you have among 10 trades per day. On those 10 trades, the parameter that makes that you have a higher chance to succeed is if you are with the trend. So with the trend meaning SMA below EMA if you are going long, above EMA if you are going short. Here, the EMA bounce shows that it's not really true. You don't need the EMA bounce to basically play fail to legged pullback. The candle is a parameter that is really, really, really important. So put it into account. So good candle, I repeat, is if it closes on its top 25% if you're going long, bottom 25% if you're going short. Okay. Early in the party is also a huge parameter. So the first to retrace, I guess. Fibonacci, so as I said, it doesn't matter. So you can even stop drawing there for the moment. Another important parameter is don't go into a trade if you have only if you have zero papa score, meaning if you don't have the trend, you don't have EMA bounce, you don't have good candlestick, you don't have early in the party, and you don't have a fib, don't go into it. And if you have only one of them, don't go into it too. If you start having two parameters, then you see that your winning rate is above 70%, right? So if you take trades that are 2 and above, you can have like 85% winning rate, okay? We're still completing other stuff, so if it's inside STT, pre-party, and so on, so we need more data. For the moment, the data is not yet complete. I will also try to add into column like other type of stuff. As I said, like a number of waves to take a reversal. Here, the size of the candle, as I said, so for the moment, it says that if you take a candle size of 2.5, but it has a 100% win rate on 10 trades, which is quite impressive, to be honest. It seems that if you take a candlestick that are lower than 2.5 point risk, they seem to be not at 100%, right? But again, we don't have enough trades to be able to conclude yet. Maybe soon we will. The color of the candle doesn't really matter for long. For short, it seems to matter. Okay, so 82%. And then we're trying to classify also the candlestick. it's a huge work that is happening. We need more days. We have 26 days left to have something decent. I think that after 26 days, we'll have probably like 1,000 trades. With 1,000 trades, we should be able to have a good conclusion. We will also be able to conclude on not only the normal two-legged pullback, but also the, I would say, the outside bar two-legged pullback, failed two-legged pullback, which is for people who are following Discord. Those are the favorite one of Papi. He always take them, so they have a good percentage win rate. We will try to focus on them probably after 15 days and see how we can make them work and on which situation. Okay, but for the moment, I want us to focus on the normal failed two-legged pullback trades and see how we can optimize them. Okay, so I think that's it. That was Papa from Street Fighter, tradingsystem.com. I will see you probably tomorrow for day 4.